We lowered the recommended level. If you were going to do it in drinking water, we lowered it from 1.2 ppm to 0.7 ppm. I think it needs to come way down below that, if we even need it at all. I think I'm going to have the most information on the first part of the question, which really has to do with the developmental neurotoxicity of fluoride. I am quite convinced by the burgeoning literature, and this is really based largely on the human data, that elevated fluorine is a problem for the development of babies' brains. I should say the brain develops very early in utero, and then brain development continues through actually about age 25. But the real critical windows appear to be early in utero and early infantile. There is no good data today showing that fluoridation protects against cavities. That was the basis of the 1962 Public Health Advisory, in which the levels were set at 1.2 ppm inorganic fluoride being put in the water. But as more and more fluoride is present in our environment overall, I think everyone, just about everyone, uses fluoridated toothpaste, fluoridated mouthwash. A lot of, especially black teas, have high levels of fluoride in them, and so on. We get lots of fluoride from environmental sources that we don't really need it added to our drinking water anymore. I initiated a program when I was director of NTP to do a systematic review of fluoride neurotoxicity. Let's just say we've been waiting for those reviews to be actually published. Drafts were sent to the national academies, which I had decided upon doing rather than our normal external peer review process because of the political nature of drinking water fluoridation. There's a very, very strong dental lobby that believes that fluoridation is protective against tooth decay. I will say there is no benefit of ingested fluorine. The benefits of fluorine to teeth are topical. So swishing as an adult, or even as not a very young child, but a child, is probably going to be fine. Remember, you swish and they tell you to spit it out, you don't swallow it, but there's no benefits to ingested fluorine. So I actually wrote an editorial, I think, my goodness, now it's a year and a half or 2 years ago, where I called for pregnant women not to drink fluoridated water. And of course, we all encourage that breast is best if women can to nurse their babies, because fluorine is not transmitted through breast milk to the babies. But if you're going to use formula for your baby, please don't use fluoridated water. I just checked with some of my former colleagues at NTP. This report has been scheduled to be released multiple times. Report repeatedly delayed. The person who was my associate director of NTP, who's now working as a volunteer to get this report out, feels that it will finally come out. We had another release date of May 18th, which just passed, and he is hopeful that it will finally come out soon. But it has been a long, arduous process. I am not terribly familiar with the impacts that fluoride might have on the kidney or its autoimmune effects. I know, at high concentrations, we know that fluoride can be associated with skeletal fluorosis. At slightly elevated concentrations, I was on a committee with the Public Health Service that in 2015, we lowered the recommended level. If you were going to do it in drinking water, we lowered it from 1.2 ppm to 0.7 ppm. I think it needs to come way down below that, if we even need it at all.